My name is Manasvi Reddy. I'm 16 years old, and I am the organizer of Belle Vie, a dancer's dream. This whole process kind of started when I was 12 years old. My paternal grandfather was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he lived in a really rural part of India where palliative care was not an option. And though I don't remember much about his illness, I do remember the toll it took on my family, as my dad, here in Wichita Falls, tried to get him the care and comfort that he needed. Luckily, because I have family in the medical field, we were able to provide him and my other family members with the support that they needed during this time. As I got older, I started to realize that here in Wichita Falls, we take Hospice of Wichita Falls care for granted. What Hospice of Wichita Falls does for its patients could really benefit people in third world countries like India. And so I decided that I was going to do everything in my power to support this local organization.
My name is Darby Glassburn, and I am the volunteer coordinator for Hospice of Wichita Falls. Manasvi has been volunteering for us for almost a year, and she comes in several days a week and helps us with office work, and also she gets to visit in the center and help with some of the patients down there as well. So through all of that, I really think that her heart and her desire to help people grew even more than just with volunteering. So she came and did a presentation and talked about what this fundraiser would mean for her and how she wants to be able to give back and help more and more families and patients. And she did this spiel for us, and we were all like, and that's kind of how the ball started rolling, and we've just moved from there, and tonight is the beauty of it, and hopefully we'll raise a lot of money.
All the money raised tonight at Belle Vie, a dancer's dream, is going to the Hospice of Wichita Falls Building on a Legacy of Care project. What that means is the current 12-bed inpatient center is going to double in size in a new facility across the street from the current one.
I'm Elisa Eccles, and I'm the Executive Director here at Hospice of Wichita Falls. I've been here for about 18 years, in about 8 of those years as the Executive Director. We are very excited. We opened our current inpatient center in 1997, and now we're expanding to 24 beds over on our Sea Blue property. So just the need for probably about the last 6 years is our inpatient center has remained full, and our mission here at Hospice is to never turn anybody away. So we just want to be able to give that access to inpatient care whenever our patients need it.
I'm Dr. James Robert Parkey. I'm the Associate Medical Director here, and I'm primarily in charge of inpatient services here at our center, and I'm also in charge of the palliative care service. One of the biggest issues that we have seen over at least the past decade is an increasing need for hospice services, and specifically in that subset of patients that are very symptomatic, that need a lot of intensive symptom management, intensive care of the type that we provide at our inpatient center. And that's created a bit of a problem for us because we only have 12 beds available, and so very often we find that patients that are needing the services don't actually have access just because we don't have the bed space. So we're hoping with the expansion that we'll be able to actually provide those more intensive care needs to a greater number of patients. And that's a pretty significant difference between what our hospice service is able to offer as opposed to a lot of the other hospice services, or even in other communities that don't have a dedicated inpatient facility like we've got, is just being able to do things in terms of aggressive symptom management and care that you just can't do in any other environment.
I'm Jake Truitt. I am the Director of Development here at Hospice of Wichita Falls. I've been a part of this organization for almost 2 years. It's very interesting how this organization came into existence. Hospice of Wichita Falls has been in existence since 1985. We started because of a small group of individuals who were volunteers who felt like hospice care was something that we needed in this community. And so they came together, and with the help of the local Kiwanis Club, they began this organization in a small house on Kemp Street. Growth has always been a part of Hospice of Wichita Falls. Since the time of the house on Kemp Street to moving to Johnson Road, we have just continued to grow as an organization. So one of the biggest things that we see is as the need for hospice care grows, the understanding grows as well. And as we see more patients, that need just increases. So as the population of aging individuals in our area increases, we know that that need is going to increase as well.
My name is Amanda Cully. I'm the volunteer placement specialist here at Hospice of Wichita Falls. Basically what I do is I place volunteers with jobs that we think will benefit them or something that they're interested in. So there's a lot of options for volunteers when they're here. They help us with office work. They work in the inpatient center with some of the families and the patients. They go play bingo, which I think is really cool. And then, it's really just wherever that they feel they're calling for, we can always find a spot for them no matter what.
Our volunteers truly are the backbone to Hospice of Wichita Falls. They do so many things for this organization, and we could not be the organization we are without their help. Last year, they provided over 18,000 hours towards Hospice of Wichita Falls with their unique gifts and their talents, and we truly appreciate all of them.
So my name is Darby Glassburn, and I am the volunteer coordinator for Hospice of Wichita Falls. So our mission statement is care, hope, and support for all when illness threatens life. So the way we kind of tie that in with our volunteers is there are things that the clinical staff can't necessarily do. So then we bring in our volunteers that really can give care that others can't give. They're able to spend more time with those people. We have volunteers that help mow lawns, which obviously the clinical staff wouldn't be able to take care of. Doesn't mean that they don't want to help with all that stuff, but there are things that we can come in and do. If they just need us to sit with them for several hours, we can do that too. So we give the support that the people need. So we really are an extra piece of the puzzle to care, hope, and support for all.
I first started volunteering at Hospice of Wichita Falls in January of my freshman year, so last year. And when I first started volunteering, I mostly did office work. I filed, I worked on the computers, just normal volunteer work. And a few months later, I was integrated into the inpatient center. And because I've always had a passion for healthcare and I see myself going into medicine in the future, I was really interested in this aspect of care because normally you think of going to the doctor and you think of getting better. That's what doctors do. And that's what you think growing up. But when I started to work at hospice, I realized that these patients weren't going to get better. And I think that's something that a lot of people my age and in the community in general don't understand. They think that hospice is almost a scary term and they associate it with death. But to me, the purpose of this fundraiser is to bring so much more light to what hospice does for this community, because it really is a journey that we're on, and hospice's mission is to make the transition from this part of our journey to the next as peaceful as possible. In October of 2018, I saw a patient for the first time pass, and it's something that happens a lot at hospice, but I never expected to see it as a volunteer. When I was in the building and hearing commercials and advertisements, I often heard the hospice staff and volunteers talk about having a hospice heart. And I don't think I ever truly knew what this meant until I witnessed that. The way the nurses prayed over him, sang to him, and took care of him after he passed made me feel like death was a less scary concept.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn Loscott, and I am a teacher and a dancer for the Wichita Falls Youth Ballet. And I have been dancing since I was 3. So this was my very first time to choreograph, and I was very nervous, and so I spent hours and hours looking online, like looking at different videos and trying to get, the music already inspired me. Then looking up videos to see the type of movement that I was going for. It was a hard process for me because I didn't want to give something the girls didn't like, and then didn't want to do something that didn't look good, but it's come along really well, and I'm really happy with the way that my girls have taken this choreography on.
I've been a dancer for 12 years, and I really can't remember a time in my life where I wasn't dancing. I started when I was 3 years old, and now I'm 16, so dance has always been a big passion of mine, but it's always been just that, a passion. As I got older, school got busier, life got more hectic, and I had to distance myself from the studio even though I really didn't want to. This fundraiser has been an opportunity for me to not only continue to share my love of dance, but to bring two communities, the arts and the medical, in Wichita Falls together into one night to benefit a cause that means a lot to me because of my grandfather.
About 10 years ago, my grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he struggled for about 7 years, and for about the last, I would say 4 years, maybe 3 years, hospice came to our to his house and took care of him and cleaned him, bathed him, made sure he had clean clothes and his room was tidy, and gave him the medicine to give him, and he loved them. My mom loved them, my grandmother loved them. They were wonderful, and they were with us all the way up until his last breath, and we can't thank them enough. So it was a wonderful experience with them there.
When I first approached Mishik and Val Liberator, my dance teachers, with this idea, I didn't know what to expect from them, but right away they were 100% on board.
Well, I'm Valentine Liberator, co-artistic director for the Wichita Falls Youth Ballet.
And I'm Mishik Marie Liberator, co-artistic director of the Wichita Falls Youth Ballet as well. We moved to Wichita Falls 6 years ago to start the Wichita Falls Youth Ballet here in Wichita Falls. It's been an exciting 6 years.
It's been a great 6 years.
At the beginning of the summer, Manasvi came and sat down with Val and I and brought up this amazing fundraiser idea that she wanted to do with Hospice and with Wichita Falls Youth Ballet, and we were immediately on board. We thought this was a wonderful idea to bring Hospice, which is such a vital organization for the community, together with a live performance of dance, honoring families. So it was definitely a yes from the beginning for us, and we have enjoyed helping her every step of the way through this process of a fundraiser, because it's not easy.
No, I'm very proud of her and how she's organized this fundraiser and all of the different components that go in it, because I know how difficult that is.
It's been only 6 months, but so much has happened since then. And I'm very confident that the reason that this fundraiser has come together so smoothly is because I have not met a single person along this process that has not supported me 100%. The community, the sponsors, every person that I've approached from day one has been 100% on board with this fundraiser. I think this is because Hospice of Wichita Falls is truly an investment in not only our community, but the generations to come.